It's a chilly Sunday afternoon here in England, and this will be another unscripted rant. If you've seen the channel before, you'll know that what I tend to do is I'll find a news story or something I've found online, groups of people or individuals, and I will pick apart their arguments using humour and irony to show that their arguments don't hold water. Now today, there won't be much in the way of humour, because we will be looking at a man who, in my opinion, is a creepy fucking weirdo. It's not the first time I've touched on this guy. Sorry for the way that sounds, because he is fucking repulsive. I made a video a few months ago after this person had posted to TikTok saying that he could prove there's no such thing as a boy or a girl, and then proceeded to use the arguments of height and whether or not you like the colour pink. So not a lot of empirical evidence, but back then I didn't know the guy's name. He's called Jeffrey Marsh, and if you're watching this and you're a parent with young children, be very fucking afraid of him. So it's March, so it's Women's History Month. Let's see what our new friend Jeffrey thinks about feminism.
I am a non-binary trans activist, and this is an article from the Washington Post. And it's about whether using language like people who can be pregnant instead of saying women, whether that is bad for feminism or not. And I just want to add something personal to the mix. In the past week or so, I've been accused, personally me, I've been accused of ruining feminism, ruining sports, ruining schools, ruining gender, ruining society. The list goes on and on. When LGBTQ people are blamed for every darn thing, it's a bad sign for a society and a culture and a democracy. If you are an inclusive feminist, thank you so much. You are important.
That video is from Jeffrey's YouTube channel, and it's called TERFs, Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. So ladies, if you're watching this and you have any problem whatsoever with that fucking thing getting naked next to you in the changing room, you're a TERF, you're a bigot, you're awful. Now, I know being non-binary, Jeffrey will use they, them pronouns, but I won't be using them because that would show I was respecting him. And as we go on, we'll see that man is not worthy of anyone's respect. He starts off with this bullshit. In a world where LGBTQ people are blamed for every darn thing. First of all, Jeffrey, it's LGBTQIA+. What have you got against intersex and asexual people, you fucking bigot? And what the fuck is he on about? That in society, IA plus people are blamed for everything. Like what? I'm a middle-aged straight white man. To the woke left, I'm the fucking devil incarnate. I am Satan walking upon God's earth. I don't blame the LGBTQIA plus community for anything. I blame individuals. When you get someone like the trans swimmer Leah Thomas, I don't blame all trans people. I just fucking blame him, knowing he's ruining it for the rest of the trans community. But our friend Jeffrey is playing the victim card. But thus far, he just appears to be an effeminate cross-dressing weirdo. There's nothing dangerous about that. But I'm about to show you another clip. And you only have to endure one clip. I've watched dozens of them, so you don't have to. And we'll see why, if you've got young children, you need to keep them away from any content produced by Jeffrey Marsh.
Again, when you start thinking about going no contact, I want to encourage you and say something you may not have heard before. You're going to love it. I know right now all you have is a world and a wall of guilt. And every time you think about going no contact, you just feel this thing in your chest and in your stomach, and you don't want to be that person, and how could you? But she's your mother, and all the stuff that culture tells you. In 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, the joy that your life...
Like I said, that is one of dozens of videos where he encourages children to break contact with their parents. There are other videos where he tells children how to disrespect their elders and the ways that their parents have messed them up, the way that their parents cannot be trusted. And in one really chilling video, he says that he knows that they're scared that they'll lose their family, but he will be their family. To understand what I'm about to say, you need to know a little bit more about me. Before I moved to Staffordshire, I'm originally from Norfolk, so any swampies watching, give me 6. I worked as a volunteer for the youth service with younger people with severe behavioural problems, and I also worked for a couple of charities as a counsellor, working with survivors of, let's say, people who've been forced to have sex against their will and people who've been abused as children. So I have an idea of how certain people work. In my opinion, importantly, I am owning it, it is my opinion, Jeffrey's behaviour is fucking textbook grooming. In my opinion, the worst people on God's earth are fucking nonces. And a common way they will operate is to find a child who's insecure and emotionally vulnerable and drive a wedge in between that child and the child's parents. They will convince the child that the parents don't have their best interests at heart, that they can't be trusted, that they are damaging the child, that the child cannot ever trust any of their family. But you know who they can trust? The person that's fucking grooming them. I want to be clear, I am not saying that Jeffrey Marsh is an active nonce. Not at all. I'm not accusing him of doing anything. What I am doing is saying, fuck me, does he fit the profile? Seriously, mate, why don't you drive round in a fucking ice cream van with a puppy under each arm? And it's not just me that thinks it. There are schools sending out warning letters telling parents that their children should not be viewing any content made by this man. And I thought I'd have a look into his Twitter account, but here it is. It's protected. I can't gain access. I have to ask his permission to see what he's doing online. Does that sound suspicious? And if, well, not proof were needed, but if there were allegations, just allegations, no one is saying he has or hasn't done anything he should or shouldn't, but if there were, let's say, warning signs that his intentions might not be totally pure, he's set up a Patreon where children can talk to him about whatever they want, including sex, in private. I will say again, I do not believe that LGBTQIA+ people pose a threat to children. I believe individuals, including straight people, pose a threat to children. I will also say that I believe that some individuals who identify as being within the LGBTQIA+ group may be doing so they can play the victim, so that if anyone accuses them of something, they'll say, you're picking on me because I'm, say, a non-binary trans activist who doesn't like TERFs. Can you think of anyone like that? Fuck me, that was depressing. As ever, thanks for watching.